Everyone. Well, we're back again, and glad you could join me. I have what I think is going to be an interesting video, one that I feel probably will be, in my opinion, one of the most important ones that I've done in the last couple of years. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sitting here and I've got this nice bouquet of flowers here beside me. The smell is just permeating the air beside me here. Kind of puts me in a nice mood. Anyway, as I was saying, the title of the video is going to be, and I might add that this is a request video that I've had from several people over the last few days, ladies, and actually a couple of gentlemen, and they have asked me if I would do a video on choosing twin flame help from a man's perspective. Well, you know what? I had to think about that one for a while because I want to do it right and I want to get it correct and I want to be of service to people out there in choosing someone that they're going to have assist them on their pathway with the twin flame connection. And I want to be in fairness with all of the readers out there, the, as I call them, teapot and card ladies, astrologers, and other readers. In attempting to do that, should be interesting. So we'll give it a bash, and we'll see what happens here. But before I actually get into the video, I want to say something to you all, which I think is really important. I really do care about people. I really do. It's been my vocation for I don't know how long. And I know there's a lot of people out there, a lot of ladies and a lot of men, who are very bitter and have a lot of bitterness in them because the twin flame connection didn't go well from them. Do me a favor, do you even bigger favor. Don't hang on to the bitterness. Don't do that. Let it go, give it away, gift it to me if you want. Come on our channel and you go ahead and trash talk me. Feel free to do that. Whatever it takes to get you beyond the bitterness and letting it go. So feel free to do that, okay? I watched my brother die from bitterness in the relationship with our father. So I fully understand, all right? Okay. So here we go. Funny, I actually went to sleep this morning, and when I woke up I had it because I've attempted to do this video 3 times already, and I didn't get it the way I wanted it, but I got it. And I'm going to try to keep it on point as much as possible. If I vary off a little bit, please do forgive me. All right, so here we go. Right now, somewhere out there today, someone is having the beginning of the twin flame connection experience. All right. And they're in the midst or beginning or starting what's called the bubble love phase. And you're into all of the he, she, or she, or he connections, whatever combination is your thing. And you're in that mystical state. Everything is wonderful. Everything is beautiful. The communication flow, the lovemaking is intense, passionate, and it's just a time when you cannot believe how 2 people can be so melded and merged and blended together. It just seems like you're connected at the hip. Not to mention the fact that abilities that you may have had all of a sudden become very enhanced. Or you suddenly discover that due to this connection, you discovered new creative abilities that you didn't even know you had. And you're even more excited. Plus the fact you begin a whopping big heart center opening and connection of the heart chakra within yourself. Not to mention, you probably start your Kundalini awakening, with everybody in general is becoming quite familiar with at this point. And you're in Happyville, literally. And it goes on for a few days, a few weeks, in some cases even a few months and even longer. And the last thing that you need, the very last thing that you need at this point is help. It is the last thing you even think of. And then one day, due to the evolutionary process and the physical condition of your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your nervous system, which can only handle the intensity of that mystical state for a limited period of time, and also to give you the opportunity to feel and experience the gift of the evolutionary process, of what it can be like as a possibility, probability, something to strive for, something to achieve, something to go for, something to live your life for, as it were. What happens, you come back to reality. But when you come back to reality, back to your normal state as it was before, you're not quite normal anymore. You haven't really come back to where you were. You're a little bit higher in vibration than what you were before. And then you find out something you didn't want to know. Suddenly, every issue, every problem, every dysfunctional pattern, every idiosyncrasy, everything on both sides for both people, suddenly you find yourself triggering each other. All right. The emotional turmoil, the intellectual mind screwing that you go through, and your whole life collapses around you. You could be in a marriage that's been redundant on both sides. You could have children. The possibilities of how this functions is inevitable. But I want to say one thing that's very important here. The experience of this evolutionary process of relationships manifests in physical reality, labeled the twin flame experience, is a gift. It truly is a gift. And it comes to you at a time in your life when you're ready for it. And a lot of people might say, well, I was ready for the good part, but I'm not ready for the shit. Okay, and you would be truthful and you're being honest. You're not ready for the shit, nor do you want it in most cases that you have to deal with. But what's happening is this. You and your soul self, that's that higher aspect of you. Your soul self is striving for you to experience in a particular sojourn, lifeline, timeline experience, whatever label you want to put to that, a positive growth-oriented situation. You, however, may see your life as desiring and wanting a relationship of depth, meaning, and understanding. And your soul is seeing it differently. It's seeing this as an opportunity for overall growth for you. By doing what? By forcing all of the things that are out of sync with you, out of dysfunctional patterns, or psychological personality traits that are not conducive to you having the gift of that euphoric state or template that was gifted to you for a temporary period of time, are going to come up. Now, the problem lies here, and I've mentioned this before, is many people at this point try to go back to the traditional concept of relationships, and they find out very quickly it doesn't work in this case, and it turns you into a bigger mess. So What are you going to do then? You're going to do what everybody else is doing nowadays. And I get it. Okay, it's the normal thing to do. Somewhere along the line, you're going to get curious and you're going to say, I need some help here. And you're going to Google it. You're going to Google it, and inevitably you're going to find Facebook, or you're going to find YouTube, or you're going to find a website where they're going to talk about twin flames. And you're going to go, Eureka, that's it. I met my twin flame. And as you read more of the information, you become absolutely convinced. So you need to find someone that's going to be able to assist you that's going through the process. So let's talk about that from this point on. So you're looking for help, you go up, the most obvious place nowadays is YouTube, all right? And you're faced with a kaleidoscope of individuals advertising themselves as assistants or twin flame mentors or spiritual mentors or tarot card ladies or astrologers, as readers of every type, shape, and form. And you want to get some information. So how do you do that? The one thing that I'm going to say right off the bat is this, and this will surprise some people. The most of you in this situation in the beginning stages will not be ready for someone like me or Nicole. You will not be ready for an actual set of twin flames. You will need someone who can take you partially way through it. And what we have at this particular point in time up on YouTube is we have a lot of women, tarot card readers, astrologers, and ladies in general, who are there to fulfill that purpose. And this is what I recommend that you do. When you're looking at these ladies or guys doing readings, ask them right off the bat, as you're in connection with them and you're going to get a reading, you're going to put out money. Okay, so therefore you have the right to ask questions and do some research. Research these people. If you're going to come to me, research me. All right, inquire, research. So what are you looking for? You're looking for, if it's a tarot card lady, the one thing you should be asking her right off the bat, are you with your twin flame? And in most cases, probably 95% of them are going to say, no, I am not with my twin flame. And then you're going to say to them, why are you not with your twin flame? You're offering your assistance to people, but you're not with your twin flame. And they're probably going to say, and this is important how you take this. This is kind of a first red flag, if you will. If they start talking about their twin flame, or if you're reading it on their blog or their information or anything, and you hear them talking about their twin flame in a judgmental or a critical way, that's a red flag. I recommend you not have anything to do with them. Because if they do that with their twin flame and they were not successful in coming together, it does mean, in spite of, they failed, literally. He and her, or whatever combination, they failed for whatever reason. But the good news is they'll get another opportunity. But, I need to emphasize here, they have experienced and gained some experience in the twin flame connection, even though they're not together. So there's some value here. There's some value here. So this person, this lady, this gentleman, the tarot card reader, the astrologer, the whatever type of reader, can be of benefit to you. And depending how far they went in their twin flame connection will indicate the development of their personality, development of their energy field, and most importantly, the development of something that I consider the key ingredients for someone who offers themselves as a twin flame advisor or twin flame help. Credibility is one, and authenticity is the other. You cannot fake this. You cannot fake it. You either have it or you don't. And the one thing that I do know, if that tarot card lady or that astrologer or that reader has developed through the twin flame experience the authenticity and the credibility, they know without any animosity towards their twin flame, and they don't show it in any of their material. They know full well, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they can only take you so far. Because in the twin flame experience, you can only take a person to the point where you yourself have arrived as a reader, or a tarot card reader, or as an astrologer, as a reader or a channeler of any kind. That's all you can do. All right? And if you don't see that, any kind of indication, or even when you're talking to the person who's offering assistance to you, that's another red flag. However, because the one that has credibility, integrity, the reader, they should know this if they develop properly. And they also know that at some point, being a credible, authentic teacher, assistant, helper, whatever you want to call it, they should exercise leadership responsibility and say to you at some point, you know what, Sue or Dick or Jane or Marianne or whatever, you know, I've taken you through my guidance and assistance to the point where I feel it's time for you to move on and find someone else who can take you to the next step or to the next level of your development. Now that's a reader, folks. That's a reader. And if there's card ladies out there that are like that, or astrologers or readers, I support them totally. Because they're coming from the right space and the right place. And the twin flame connection that they had, even though it didn't come to fruition, did accomplish a great deal. It reached to them, and they went through the pain and the difficulty and the challenge of developing their personality, even though it wasn't successful for whatever reason, and they developed that integrity. Because when you're going to this person, they should tell you by the indications of where they are personally as a reader, a counselor, or an assistant, in whatever form that they come. They should tell you this. All right? So if you don't see all of these indications that I've mentioned in the person, then look elsewhere. Another thing that you can do is you can find people who have had a reading or counseling, or someone who has referred or recommended some of these individuals. Now, just for the point of reference, all right, I do a lot of research on people because I feel I need to know what I'm dealing with if I'm going to support creditable readers, card ladies, astrologers, or any type of reader. Do I know creditable readers and astrologers, tarot card ladies, teapot and card ladies, as I like to call them? Yes, I do. There are quite a few of them. But I want to say to you also, there are even more who are not creditable, who do not come from a place of authenticity. They're motivated by the buck. All right? And when it comes to a reader, here's another indication that I want you all to know. If they're not authentic and are not a credibility, they want to keep you around as long as possible to get as much money out of you as they can. So if you notice that during the growth period, supposedly you're going through with the reader of the tarot card lady or the astrologer, whatever, that suddenly you reach a level or a point with that particular helper that's helping you, where it seems as though the information is being recycled yet again and regurgitated all over, just presented in a different way, and you get a feeling like you're not progressing, that's a red flag. It's time to go. And if they didn't tell you it was time to go, then you're in trouble if you continue. Because I want to explain another aspect here that's very important in the twin flame community. I think even a lot of readers are not aware of this. When you go through the twin flame experience, be it coming to fruition, and the two are actually together as a working couple, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be up on YouTube or Facebook. They can be out in the general population in different segments, different avenues. Not all the twin flames are on YouTube and Facebook, I can assure you. The biggest majority of real ones, real twin flames, are actually out there doing things. So back to the reader. When they are going through this, and the reason that I suggested to you that you research the reader, when you have an individual who is not bitter and not resentful or judgmental or critical of their twin flame, and they don't present that in their information or in conversations with you, and they don't point out the mistakes that this is happening in your life, because if that's happening and they're judgmental or they're critical, they're going to present that same energy to you, and you're going to be doing the same thing with your opportunity of the gift. So remember something here, folks, ladies, gentlemen. You've been given a gift. It doesn't matter if the label doesn't mean anything to you. Evolution is a process. And evolution moves on, and it's going to move through everyone, in spite of everyone's belief systems, innuendos, ideologies, philosophies, or whatever. It doesn't care what you think about it. It is going to continue on. So in the connection with the reader, what happens is as they've gone through it and they don't criticize or judge, and they don't hold on to clients, what happens is they develop, through their credibility and their integrity, they generate an energy field. Okay, if you go back to the bubble love phase of what I was talking about, there's something else that happens there. For a short period of time, people develop at an individual level besides that bubble love that they create. The reason that they develop individually is because for a short period of time, they themselves are whole. And they deem it because of the other person, all right? And temporarily speaking, the answer is yes, that's why. It's because of the other person, because this is the way we understand it. We understand and we believe in general in the population that in order for us to be fulfilled, happy, and be in bliss on a continual basis, it requires the use and need of another person. So that's the way it's presented to us by the evolutionary process, because that's the only way we're going to get it. As we go along down the road, we discover we don't need another person to make us fulfilled, happy, and loving, and all of that stuff. It takes a while to get there. And sometimes some of the stuff that I say doesn't resonate with people because they don't understand where I'm coming from. And that's okay. I get it. So therefore, you have to go. These people that are at these stages where they've separated with their twin flame, but they're there and they've developed the credibility and integrity, that's exactly the plan for them in most cases. Because we need people. We need honest and creditable tarot card readers. We need honest, authentic, and credible astrology people and readers. We need them. So how are we going to have them if we don't create them? So these have been created. So they're a blessing. They truly are. And they have a purpose, and they're fulfilling that purpose by the role that they're playing. I cannot support these ladies enough if I know they're for real. Well, the ones I won't support are the flakes and the fakes that are multitude up on YouTube, and I research them all. And I pick out the fine points, and I point it out to the people. So this video should become a Bible, literally, for everyone who's having the twin flame experience and finding assistance and help. Okay, so now we've done the readers, all right? Let's now go to say that you have come to the point, you have evolved, you have matured, your personality has changed, you have outgrown your previous reader, tarot card reader, astrologer, or reader, channeler, whatever, and now you're ready to connect with a set of twin flames. What should you look for? Again, research is necessary, all right? And this is a guy's perspective here, okay? There are many people out there today on YouTube who are claiming they are twin flames. And I want to point out to you how I know if they are or they are not. And you know how I know the first indication whether they're fakes? Here's what I do. I will go to some of the more popular ones on YouTube right now. And I will listen to a couple of their videos and I will watch their interchange between the two of them. All right? And if I see the interchange going on between the two of them is much more, if it isn't a put on, and a lot of twin flames do this, it's a put on. They put on this facade of personality generation energy for the public, but they're not the same when they're by themselves. If I see that, that's a red flag. Okay? Because one thing that I am excessively and extremely good at, I've got one of the best bullshit detectors on YouTube. And I'll tell you something. There's an old saying on the planet. It takes one to know one in a lot of categories in life. I will tell you something from the bottom of my heart. When I see a set of twin flames, I know. I know if they are or if they aren't. And I can tell you there are a lot of are nots up on YouTube. But I want you to be able to understand how to go through it. So that's the first thing I look for. The second thing that I look for is this, and you're going to find this interesting. I will go and read the comments on their videos. And somebody's going to say, well, why the hell would you do that? Look, the one thing that I have learned to do any of you remember when you were in the bubble love phase and you had that feeling like you just looked into each other's eyes and, you could just know, you just knew, you just had that feeling of complete balance and whatever? Well, imagine me being an old guy, all right? And I've been on YouTube for 11 years, all right? I can smell a rotten fish 10 miles away. So when I read the comments, what I do is I look for the evolutionary maturity of the comments of the people who make comments about the set of twin flames that they're supporting. You want me to repeat that again? I go to the comments and I look at the maturity level from an evolutionary process point of view of the people who make comments on the twin flame that are supposed to be there. And if I don't see authenticity, and if I don't see credibility, and if I don't see personality being presented in a supportive way of the twin flame couple that indicate that they are attracting to themselves people who are actually on the twin flame journey, but are actually just the romantics and fluff crew, that tells me is a set of twin flames that claim to be twin flames will attract exactly that which they are to them as client base or people that support them. And if the people that support them are all fluffy and magnificent and romancy and that kind of stuff, they're not a set of twin flames. You need to look for this. The comments are a very good indication of what you're going to get. All right. I am one of the most diligent comment readers that you ever saw for our channel. I read them all. Maybe not all in one day, but I read them all. And I hear what people are saying. Because what I'm able to do from that experience of the twin flame bubble love phase I can step right in. I can step right into a comment. And I can feel the evolutionary process or the level of awareness of that person or the maturity level. And I can assure you of one thing, we are not all equal on this planet. We are not all on the same level of maturity, and we're not all on the same level of spiritual awakening or the evolutionary process. In spite of the fact there's a big group out there who would say, well, everybody's equal at a soul level. No, we're not, even at a soul level. Because if we were all equal at a soul level, none of us would be having the twin flame experience because it wouldn't be necessary. And none of us would be having challenges and crises in our life if we were all equal at the soul level. That's another thing you need to look at. So, having read the comments and taken a look at them from that perspective, it gives me, based on the clients and the people that are attracted to a set of twin flame, an indication of where they are. And in a lot of cases, what happened is indicated to me that the pair of twin flames acting and attracting to them the comments of the clients who show inevitable a lot of immaturity and a lot of the romance and fluff stuff, all right? And I don't see any comments that indicate true spiritual growth. They're not twin flames. They might be a very nice pair of soulmates having the twin flame experience themselves, and they're years away from being anywhere near creditable or having any authenticity. So you then go to step 3. I give them every chance and opportunity. I will do the research and the background on the set of twin flames. I will look at their website. I will look at their information that they present. I will look at the motivation behind the stuff that they're doing. All right. One of the indications of such is this. I've been on YouTube for 11 years. Everybody, I think, will agree that there isn't anybody on YouTube in the twin flame or spiritual community who gives away so much free information as I do. And I know that there are people who come to my and Nicole's YouTube channel, and you can get a spiritual education just on the material that I've given over the few years for free. And I know that there are twin flames that are out there that are charging for workshops that I give the information for nothing. You know what? I've come to the conclusion I shouldn't even be on YouTube. I should be in university teaching this to people. Because I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not a pretender. I'm the real deal. And that's what you're looking for when you're looking for a set of twin flames. You're looking for the real deal. Do the background research on them. Don't get caught up in what all of the other people are doing. If you see a common trait through their videos and workshops, and they're very secretive, and they don't want anybody else's material influxing or influencing, and they'll tell you it's because they want to keep their twin flame energy true and clean, that's bullshit. I don't have any problem at all with other people who come to me and go to see other people at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's a good way to make a comparison. But when you have a set of twin flames who are secretive and they want to exclude everybody else, especially other twin flames materials, that's another red flag. All right. If that set of twin flames has a Facebook group and they won't allow anybody else's material in their Facebook group, that means they're afraid. It means they're not open to actually connecting with other twin flames because they've got something to hide. That's another sign. So take that into context. So the idea here is, I'm here in this video to be of service to those people who are looking for twin flame information or advice. And I'm also here to support the teapot and dark card ladies, those who are authentic and creditable and who follow the guidelines that I've mentioned. I support you 100%. For the rest of you that don't follow those guidelines, I don't support you all. And there are too many of you, and some of them are called twin flames. They're coming up on YouTube, and you are doing this, all right? And I'm going to put you out of business. I am. Because I'm going to keep hammering away until you flakes disappear. It's that simple. How does that grab you? So in any case, what I've done here is given you the information that you can look for. And the situation is as such, if you follow those indications, as I've mentioned, you may need to go back and you may need to listen to the video 2 or 3 times, all right? And follow that criteria, follow that agenda, and use the tarot card lady or the astrologer that you need for the time that you need them. But remember, the role of a teacher, and this includes me, because I do see myself as a teacher, a good one, and that's not bragging, it's simply stating a fact, is to eliminate themselves out of the life, literally, or the presence of anyone that's a student of them as soon as it is possible and it is appropriate that the person has reached a level of development they no longer require that teacher or advisor, tarot card lady, astrologer, or channeler to go on their own, so that when they reach a point, they no longer require me or you, tarot card lady, or the astrologer, or the channeler, and can go on their own and can, through their own intuition, their own reflection, get their guidance on their own. That's our role. Anything less than that, without the credibility, the authenticity, and one more thing that I want to mention here, just before I end this video, which I've forgotten, I'm going to add it at the end, I do apologize, but I want to get this on point, all right, is when you have someone who has the twin flame experience, be they successful and they come into union as a working couple together doing the twin flame mission, or you've gone partially through it and you have succeeded to a degree, what's happened is this, is you will encompass that into your energy field and into your chakra system and into your etheric body. And one more comment that I want to make here, just will give you another indication. We are now coming into a timeline where the meridian system in the etheric body is beginning to open up again. And I haven't given a lot of information on about this because it's not time yet. But for those of you who have passed or succeeded, even though you're not with your twin flame to a certain point, this meridian, which is not the Chinese meridian system in the physical body, as I mentioned, it's a different meridian system that we used to have permanent, but we lost use of it because our vibration went down. You see, because our society, as a rule, and even our concept of relationships has dropped down, it hasn't gone up, it's dropped down. As I mentioned before, dysfunctional families and dysfunctional children are now considered the norm in our society. That's going to change. Come hell or high water, it's going to change. So when you have somebody who's gone through this evolutionary process called the twin flame experience, and they've actually evolved, this is tempered into their energy field as a radiation, an emanation, which shines through as their personality, credibility, authenticity, all of those components. And what happens is when they work with somebody, they template them. Now, what do I mean by template them? They template them with that energetic field. Okay, look at it this way. I'm going to get a little technical here for a moment, but don't confuse people. Besides the physical body, you have what's called the etheric body, but you also have energetic sheath bodies, all right? It's those energetic sheath bodies that contain all of the ideologies, belief systems, behavior modules, personality traits, etc., etc., etc. So when someone is actually going through the twin flame experience, the evolution of relationships, if you will, to give it a different term, the evolution of relationship, you're changing the energetic templates or signal frequencies in those sheath bodies. So as they begin to change and evolve, they can then stimulate the 12 chakra system into activation. And then at some point, when there's enough progress, they stimulate the meridian system to begin to open, which gives you access to more energy, not new energy, but energy you never had access to for about 3,000 years. You now have access to it. And you have to be in the right position. You have to be authentic and credible and have the personality to be able to do this. And this is what I see when I look at and I research a lot of tarot card ladies, and I research a lot of astrologers. All right, I look at them and I can see by the comments what they attract to them and where they are, literally, by their presentation. That's what happened. Because I'm able to do this, I can actually give information that is pertinent to people to do this. And this is what is taking place at this moment. So all of these, as I've mentioned before, card ladies, astrologers, and channelers doing twin flame assistance are needed. What we don't need is the fakes and the flakes who come from other spots on YouTube. They pop in, and all of a sudden, and I've seen this happen at least 15 or 20 times on YouTube, and they come and they go. What'll happen is they flip-flop and they discover the whole section on YouTube that talks about twin flame. And if you go back to their original YouTube channel, you'll find that they were off in another avenue altogether. And then they discover the twin flame thing. And all of a sudden, their videos change from what they were doing before to all twin flames. All of a sudden, overnight, they've become an expert on twin flames and offering themselves as counsel and doing readings for twin flame. And where did they get their knowledge from? I'll tell you where they get their knowledge from, and I know they do. They discover my channel sooner or later, and guess what? It's a university course that I have on my YouTube channel of the twin flame experience, covered from every angle, tip to toe, head to foot, through the body, everything. It's all there. People could write a book just from the information they could get from our channel on YouTube. And I wouldn't be surprised if people have already done that in that sense. So the idea here is this: keep these indications in your mind when you're doing and looking for someone who's assistive. Now, I'm giving this to you from a guy perspective, all right? From me, how I see it as a male. And I'm also giving it from the perspective of there are lots of other guys out there that I've come in contact who, you know what? They feel exactly the same way that I do, and they've discovered what I've discovered. Most of the men don't say anything. You know why they don't say anything? Is because it seems like a lot of females out there want men that are eviscerated. They've got no balls left. All they are is just a feminine aspect in a male body. All right? So they don't say anything. And the reason they don't say anything is because they're outnumbered 10 to 1. And if they do say anything, they're eviscerated right away. Many times I'll go into a Facebook group and I'll see a man try to step up and throw in it from a male perspective. And guess what happens? He gets stumped all over the place. All right? So men need to lighten up with ladies, but I'm going to tell you something. You ladies need to lighten up with the men if you ever want to get them to be in an equal situation with you from the feminine aspect in that perspective. Okay, now, watch the flags that I've mentioned. Take the indications seriously and look carefully. Oh, and by the way, yes, there are some real twin flames up on YouTube, about 3 or 4 couples that are there, and they're not there all that often, all right? So be mindful when you're looking at a pair of twin flames. Doesn't matter how popular they look, read the comments of the people that they attract. And if you see the mature development in the comments of people who become their fans or followers, all right, and you see a total indication of that happening overall, you're probably onto a real set of twin flames. If you see a lot of fluff and airy and they comment about, oh, how wonderful they look and how fluffy and all of that shit, you're probably not looking at a set of twin flames, all right? You're probably looking at a couple of fakes trying to make money in that sense. So those are the indications. Use them. Hopefully I was on point and did it correct from both avenues. If I didn't, I'm sure I'll hear about it. In any case, great day, everybody. Have a ball. Enjoy the twin flame experience as much as you possibly can. I know I would go back and do it all over again, several times, if I could, and have the challenge and the fun of doing it. Take care.